Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rare, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Cornabuan, Tapua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Makanisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in bar.
Bula, my name is Tisa. Loving listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, life in jail for Narere murderer. Alleged Tuareg rapist remanded in custody. And government slams misguiding politicians.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Multiple murder convict Binesh Prasad has been sentenced to life imprisonment with a non-parole term of 28 years. Prasad set fire to a two-flat home, murdering his wife, daughter, father-in-law and a newly wedded couple who were expecting their first child in Narere Nasinu on October 15, 2015. Shireen Shivan reports.
Unremorseful to the end, Binesh Prasad walked out of court with a smile, despite facing a life behind bars. Observing the court sentencing today were grieving parents of pregnant 22-year-old Faria Ali, who died in the fire along with her 30-year-old husband Imran Ali.
My daughter will never come back. She's gone.
The emotional mother recalled how Faria had invited them home on the day, saying she had a surprise for them. She found out later Faria had been 2 months pregnant.
She was very friendly. She used to care for others.
Judge Justice Saleh Sitemo in sentencing said no one has the right to take another's life, and offenders like Binesh needed to be severely punished to protect the community. On 15th October 2015, Prasad took a rental car to Rakiraki, Korovo and then to Nosori, where he bought 3 plastic containers and fuel. At around 11:30 p.m., he went to the house of his mother-in-law in Narere, called his wife outside, doused her in fuel and set the house on fire. "29-year-old Uleshni Lata, her 10-year-old daughter Prishika Devi and her elderly father Jay Narayan died in the fire. Tenants on the same property, husband and wife Imran and Faria, died as they slept. Prasad is also guilty of 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count of arson and 1 count of damaging property. His mother-in-law is the only person able to escape the burning house, but not without injuries. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
A 19-year-old man alleged to have brutally attacked and raped a university student on Holland Street in Suva last year was produced in the magistrate's court this afternoon. Isor Rangima is charged with 7 counts of rape, 1 count of assault with intent to rape, and 1 count of robbery. Pranita Prakash reports.
Isor Rangima was arrested by a team of police officers last Thursday for his alleged involvement in a Christmas robbery in Nambuap. In their ongoing investigation of the robbery, police made a breakthrough they believe links Rangima to the December rape of a 23-year-old student, an incident that has left many residents in Tuareg on the edge. The victim is believed to have been walking along this stretch of the road on Friday, the 30th of December at around midday last year, when the suspect came out of these bushes. He allegedly dragged her into these bushes and raped her. After 40 days of extensive investigation, a man was apprehended. In court, the prosecution applied to have the case and the matter of Rangima's bail transferred to the High Court. The Defence Counsel also made an application for Rangima to be taken for medical examination, claiming he had been assaulted by police. Both applications were granted. The matter will be called in Suva High Court next Friday. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sithiven Ngilio today commended the hard work of his officers in arresting the perpetrator, revealing they were keeping tabs on the suspect for a while. We now join Ellen Stolz live. Ellen, the Commissioner didn't mince his words and has sent out a stern warning to criminals.
Yes, Jackie, while commending his officers for the brilliant work that they've carried out thus far, the police commissioner also said that they will be cracking down hard on criminal activities and those persons who just refuse to abide by the law. Now, some of these cases will take longer than others to solve, but he's also stressing that he is pulling out all the stops to ensure that all Fijians are protected.
Can tell the perpetrators, you will never get away with this. Before you do something like this, think about the consequences, because we will come after you and we will get you.
His message to the community is clear. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Giliho says criminals will be brought to justice.
At the peak of investigations, I could confidently say that there were about 50 of our personnel involved in that, both in the Southern Division and also in the Western Division, because we were trying to track his movement. We had ascertained his identity a few weeks back, and in the last week we made significant progress, resulting in his arrest. But I must acknowledge the support of the public, and also to the men and women who were involved in the police force. During the festive season, they were there scratching their heads and looking for clues as to who the suspect was.
The police commissioner also highlighted how important it was to be able to have a collective approach when it comes to combating crime in the community.
We cannot do it alone. The police cannot do it alone. We are trying our best through our Duavata Community Policing Initiative by going out to the members of the public and making them more aware of these issues, about reporting it.
Fijians are also satisfied with the work the police officers do in their communities.
Yes, they are doing their job, and they're doing their job, and then the accused should be get to justice.
Everybody needs to wake up. This is not only the police's job, it's the whole community.
The matter is now before the courts, and Giliho is adamant that justice will prevail. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
The Elections Minister says certain opposition MPs are politicising issues and misinforming voters as we get closer to the national elections. Ayaz Said Kayum says MPs Professor Biman Prasad and Semesa Karavaki tried to twist facts during a recent debate on amendments to the Electoral Act. Edwin Nund reports.
The previous election commission actually says that the supervisor of election was not listening to them.
It's rhetoric like this that the government claims the opposition is using to politicize issues before the elections. Sodelpa MP Semesa Karavaki even argued the supervisor of elections can't be secretary to the Electoral Commission because it compromises independence.
He would be there to answer questions, to give advice, but not to become the secretary. This merit speaker will water down their respective roles.
However, Karavaki conveniently forgot to point out that he himself served in the same position in the 2006 general elections.
It would appear that they seem to be okay with the Office of the Supervisor of Elections being the Secretariat in 2006, but suddenly they're not okay with the Office of the Supervisor of Elections or the Fijian Elections Office being the Secretariat of the Electoral Commission now.
The NFP also weighed in, arguing that Syed Kayum's role as Elections Minister is a conflict of interest.
As Minister for Elections, he was also the Secretary of the Fiji First Party in the last election. Yeah, that's fine, but he was the Prime Minister. The Elections Office was always under the Prime Minister's office.
The last minister who was responsible for elections was Lesinian Garase, and he was the leader of SDL. And he was the minister responsible for elections. Isn't that a bigger conflict?
Syed Kayum has assured amendments to the Electoral Act will make the 2018 elections smoother with better operational planning. He adds any attempts to compromise the independence of the Fijian Elections Office and the Electoral Commission are a breach of the 2013 Constitution. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
More than $11 million was raised by the Fiji Red Cross Society in the aftermath of Tropical Cyclone Winston last year. Most of the funds were used for basic non-food items like dignity kits, proper sanitation and water. Kelly Vadala reports.
A quick response from Fiji Red Cross to those affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston last February was possible thanks to the help of donations from locals and overseas.
Received more than 3 million Fijian dollars, which came from business houses in Fiji, it came from the diplomatic sector, it came from donations from overseas, it came from the community. The International Red Cross launched an appeal in which it raised 8 million Fijian dollars towards Winston.
A march will be held in Suva next Monday to commemorate the one-year anniversary of Winston and to remember the 44 who lost their lives during the disaster.
Most of them still need shelter. They still need our assistance. I've seen most of them with heartaches and pain.
A lot of families lost everything, and it was so heartbreaking when we went out on the field on our first response.
From that year, we've been responded. Now we on our recovery phase, and we've seen a few changes in it. But we'll keep on replenish whatever that is needed out in the field.
The Fiji Red Cross Society has assisted more than 77,000 people since Winston, and more than 250 volunteers have taken out their time till now to assist those who were affected. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Still ahead, Fiji part of human rights pilot project. And Lambasa potholes cause concerns.
मेरा नाम कमल रोशनी है। हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है। हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तवराबा में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji is one of the first developing countries to pilot the first-hour procedure. Since last year, 320 cases have used the program, which is being tested at two of the country's biggest police stations, with more stations to take on the program later this year. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Legal aid specialist Professor David Mason says the first-hour procedure is aimed at ensuring access to justice for all.
The first hour of the police arresting anybody as a suspect, a detainee, whatever, they have to phone the Legal Aid Commission, and the Legal Aid Commission then will refer them to a lawyer. The lawyer's on a roster, they're doing 4-hour shifts. They will come in to the police station.
Director of the Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission, Ashwin Raj, says at the heart of the program is the adherence to human rights law.
In terms of the provision of access to justice and what the constitutional rights are when persons are arrested or detained at a particular police station, engendering a greater ethos of accountability and transparency, ensuring that people are not tortured.
Professor Mason adds that while the program is in its test phase, they're working to ensure all stakeholders know the program inside and out.
We've been looking at the first hour, what happens, all the administrative procedures. We've been looking at the video interview as well, and what the role of the different people are during the video interview as well as the police officers being trained how to use that video.
The first-hour procedure, which is currently being trialled here as well as at CID headquarters in Toorak, will pave the way for other stations across the country. This program is aimed to ensure that under the Bill of Rights, those persons arrested or detained within an hour have access to a lawyer, and also any police interviews are conducted with their lawyer present, as well as the entire process captured on camera. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Potholes in Lambasa are causing a headache for motorists who say it's becoming risky to drive with such road conditions. As Eleanor Tarangaivu reports, the recent wet weather has led to road conditions deteriorating even further.
For weeks now, the stretch of road from the Lambasa Sugar Mill to All Saints Secondary School has been riddled with potholes.
It's very bad. It's not in a good condition, so it should be repaired very soon.
This road condition is bad.
This road is very bad. They should repair it so that we can travel on a proper road.
According to Fiji Roads Authority, potholes are formed when the road is no longer waterproof. Water seeps into the road pavement and displaces the soil material. This is worrying for many drivers due to the impact on their vehicles, making driving a bit more risky.
Parts are very common
and the road condition too bad. Even that we fit today, another week that will off. We have the parts, we get it in $10, we go to the garage and pay $10 for fitting. It's so expensive now.
Oh, the road condition is present very bad. Oh, that's a lot of damages. I think they should redo it soon again.
Fiji Roads Authority CEO John Hutchinson says the sustained wet weather and water on the roads often cause pothole patches to fail, and this is why the public will see an increase in the number of potholes on our roads after wet weather.
Some portions of the road have been covered by gravel to help in the free flow of traffic. Hutchinson confirms pothole patching has started and the focus is on the Wainikoro Road from FSC Mill towards Vulovi and Dawaira Flat towards the Soso Bridge. Eleanor Turangeview, FBC News.
The Kings Highway by the Kasavu Slip is expected to reopen by August. Fiji Roads Authority Chief Executive John Hutchinson says this will be a short to medium-term measure to reopen the Kings Road to all traffic. A plan will be submitted to the FRA board for approval before work begins. Hutchinson says a long-term solution is also being developed that includes realigning the Kings Road onto more stable ground. This will require detailed geotechnical investigation, design and engineering before construction can begin. The family of a little girl missing in Hamilton, New Zealand have been celebrating her safe return with those who helped search for her. 5-year-old Gloria Inoke, who is of Fijian heritage, spent the night locked in a car yard after a mix-up about her whereabouts. Rachel is here now with the very latest from the world of business.
Good evening. Coming up in business tonight, Fiji Care makes losses. And later on in Growing Fiji, new classrooms for Rishiko.
And later on in sports, battle amongst local Warriors rugby reps heats up.
Well, what they rokuta mai vono kula nrasa lutoka doba talenta kana porong na radio Fiji One.
Bulan arango fina mai korviri nandi auto talenta kana porong na radio Fiji One na programa ni mas-masu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai vunangoru na makete hinga toka kwe do talenta kina na porong na radio Fiji One kina na domoiviti.
Na radio Fiji One na domoiviti na vonga ni BNN.
In our business segment tonight, the performance of Basic Industries Limited last year was remarkable, says Chief Executive Mosese Volavola. Volavola says the last peak for the company was in 2006. However, last year the company made a 30% growth.
For this year, we budgeted 10% growth. We had a back-to-back 30% growth in 2015-2016. So we think we're starting to hit our peak now.
Fiji Care has recorded a loss for the last financial year. Their loss before tax amounted to over $1 million. Chairman Philip Thomas says the loss is due to the high level of Medivac claims post-tropical cyclone Winston. Fiji Care is a listed company with the South Pacific Stock Exchange. Compared to other countries, Fiji's inflation rate is high for 12 months to January this year. Elizabeth from HFC Bank with the details.
Yes, Rachel. Our inflation rate for January was 4.4%. Yesterday, China released its inflation figure for the same period, 1.0% up from expected 0.7%. The United States of America will be releasing the inflation figures today, and it is expected to increase to 2.4% from 2.1%. In other news, after Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen's speech this morning, Wall Street again continued with its record-setting streak. This was because she signaled further interest rate increases for the year. This strengthened the US dollar by 0.3%. If America continues at this rate, we will be experiencing a weaker Fijian dollar in the days ahead, since the US dollar holds the most weight in Fiji's basket of currencies.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Today's exchange rates. The Chinese yuan and the American dollar continue to drop as the yuan closed at $3.25 and the US dollar closed at 47 cents. The Australian dollar followed a similar trend to close at 61 cents. The New Zealand dollar rose by 8 points to close at 65 cents, while the PNG kina dropped to close at $1.29. An increase across the commodities market as oil rose to close at $53.20 a barrel, while gold increased to close at $1,230 and silver followed a similar trend to close at $17.93 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, overcrowding at Rishikul Primary School will now be a thing of the past. This after the opening of 10 new classrooms and a computer library today. Anna Ravola has more.
The Rishikul Primary head teacher says with the new classrooms, they're able to cater for more than 1,600 students.
We want all children, regardless of race, creed or circumstances, to achieve their full potential. Our aim is to provide practical step-by-step assistance aligned with all Ministry of Education initiatives, policies and procedures for a better tomorrow.
The Minister for Education says they have plans for more new classrooms at other schools.
We'll be constructing more classrooms from Tadilwa Primary so that we remove the pressure from the Tamabua Primary School, which has over 1,000 enrolled at the moment.
Dr. Reddy says that they will be meeting with different school managers to assess school needs before any construction begins. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. Suva Rip Setiriki Hughes suspended from district football. In Telecom, Fiji Warriors squad to be cut down next week. This and more coming up.
I'm Anare Sorvakroa of Nayabu Wenabuga Televu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We're here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka. Love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The Fiji Football Association has suspended Suva Rip Setiriki Hughes following a complaint by his former district Rewa. This after Hughes committed himself to joining the Delta Tigers, who claimed to have spent approximately $3,000 on airfares and visa fees for the Rip to play for them at the OFC Champions League. However, Hughes did not honor that commitment and later returned to Suva. Vasnil Prasad with the details.
Setiriki Hughes with another switch, a good one.
The fate of the national rep will be decided tomorrow.
Setiriki Hughes, yes, has been suspended because he went to Rewa and signed for the release and gave the passport for the visa, and also the ticket was endorsed and his name was sent for the Oceania Champions League too.
Hughes, who's also in the national team camp preparing for the World Cup qualifiers, could also lose his place from the extended squad.
The board he has to be sanctioned. He will follow this rule and he will go back to him.
FIGFA says it will from this season come down hard on players who will use the transfer window for their own benefit.
There will be new rules and regulations that will be put in once the board has temporarily endorsed it, but it will be done with the flying minutes.
The Suva football executives are not happy with what has transpired, adding Hughes has done nothing wrong. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
40 players are vying for a spot with the Telecom Fiji Warriors in next month's Pacific Rugby Challenge. The side ended a week's camp today with the coaching panel expected to cut the squad down to 32 early next week. Rohit Deo with the story.
Keeping a close eye on the team which has produced some great national players, Flying Fijians coach John McKee says he is happy with how training has gone so far.
We've had a good camp, a mixture of game understanding and skills along with some fitness, but yesterday afternoon we did quite a lot of opposed scenario plays and we had the had the Suva-based under-20s and academy players in as well.
McKee adds that some players have gained his attention and are likely to make the national team.
Some of these players, we can see a pathway for them ahead, but at the same time we know that the players have got to work very, very hard. It's a big step up from this level to international.
The Fiji Warriors have dominated the Pacific Challenge competition, winning it 6 times since its inception in 2006. Fiji defeated Samoa 36-0 in last year's final, and the 2017 team is out to maintain the winning culture.
There's new players coming up for our Warriors team, and hope that we'll win it again this year. And it's going to be a tough challenge too.
The Pacific Rugby Challenge runs from the 10th to the 18th of next month at Suva's ANZ Stadium. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Sevens team has missed out on the Team of the Year award at the Laureus World Sports Awards in Monaco. Fiji Sevens was nominated after winning the first Olympic gold medal for the country in Brazil last year. The Team of the Year award went to Chicago Cubs, who ended a 100-year wait to win Major League Baseball's World Series. 8-time Olympic sprint champion Usain Bolt and 4-time Olympic gold gymnast Simone Biles were named Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year for their 2016 achievements. Only 3 days until the FNRL hosts the champion versus champion matchup between Fiji and PNG's top rugby league clubs. The Nandi Aviators are wrapping up their preparations and look forward to the tough challenge their visitors will bring. Meli Tavanga has more.
The match between the Aviators and the Tigers will be a game to watch. Nandi coach Vela Tawake says they are ready for the challenge.
We are looking forward. Boys are all geared up. We have only 1 week camp to come into just to prepare for this game. So all is going well in camp.
While PNG is a high caliber team, Tawake is certain the Aviators will win.
There's a lot of expectation there, but we understand that we know how passionate are they about this game. They've been there for the years. We know the level, they're semi-professional. This is a big challenge for us, so we're working up to that level.
Captain Aquila Utoni says he's ready to counter the PNG side.
Big challenge for me leading the team, but I'm glad the boys are really gearing up and they're all very disciplined, and it's easy for me to lead them.
The Nandi Aviators is getting support from the community and the rugby league fans, and they will not want to disappoint them. Meanwhile, the PNG Tigers arrives tomorrow morning. The champions versus champions kicks off at 3 p.m. Saturday at Lawanga Park in Singatoka. Meli Tawanga, FBC Sports.
Coca-Cola Games Boys Division champions Marash Brothers High School held their inter-house competition at Suva's ANZ Stadium today. The 2016 champions are not too worried about its title defense yet, with students just enjoying a day out of the classrooms. School principal Ben Saladakau says they will worry about the Coke Games after the zone competition.
If you look at it, see the boys are enjoying themselves. It's a lot of fun and games going in there, but nevertheless we are here to come down on what our final team would be as we face the zone and then later on the Coca-Cola Games.
Barcelona suffered one of its most humiliating defeats in Champions League history with a 4-0 thumping at the hands of Paris Saint-Germain today. That's it from sports. Angie will have your weather update later on, and in our Weird and Wonderful segment, after US President Donald Trump vows to make America first, comedians around the globe chase second spot. This and more coming up.
Bulavinaka, I'm Anare Sorbakroa of Nayabu Wendibuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
You soon will be able to watch Facebook videos from the comfort of your couch. The social network enabled streaming video to Apple TV and Chromecast last October, but it's about to go bigger with an app specifically made for set-top boxes from Apple, Amazon and Samsung. Rachel Nath tells us more.
Facebook's recent push into video is coming for your big screen TV. Facebook says you will be able to use the new app to watch videos your friends have shared from the pages you follow and see the most popular live videos alongside videos recommended to you based on your interest. You can even save Facebook videos and watch them later and rewatch the ones you've already watched, shared or uploaded. Why this invention? Well, as of January 2017, users have watched 100 million hours of videos on Facebook, which could explain the company's recent strategy changes in the video space. Facebook's intention is to bring great comfort to its users, hence bringing video access in your living room.
And we join Angie now with the latest from weather.
Good evening and welcome to my world. Guess who visited today? Yes, the ever-elusive sun. It started off cloudy, but the sun burned through in the middle of the day. However, the rains are making a comeback. We'll have showers later tonight, which will become frequent and heavy at times. In the west, great news for Westerners as the sun made a brief appearance in some areas like Nandi, which I'm happy about, so not a bad few hours for beachgoers. While places like Reki Reki had some showers, temperatures were in the lower 30s. Eastwards from Pek Habarasuva, pretty much the same, a few hours of glorious sunshine followed by more rain and a bit more tonight. Up north, it was cloudy as well with a few thunderstorms. There's a high chance of heavy rain later tonight, which will continue into tomorrow morning and which also will have a possible lead to flash flooding, so be careful. Tomorrow, more showers around the whole country. Parts of the eastern and northern divisions will experience persistent showers. Tomorrow's temps, the tables have been turned. The usually cooler Suva is looking a bit hot with a high of 30 and the town known for its heat is going to be the coolest. Yes, that's right, Ba will be a low at 21. Looking further on to, yep, you guessed it right, Friday. Just a heads up, if you have plans, you might want to take your umbrellas along because it's all showers throughout the day. At sea, northwest to southeast winds 20 to 25 knots with rough seas. If you're wondering about the tides, the next high tide tonight is at 9:56 with a low tide tomorrow morning at 4:10 a.m. And I don't know about you, Jackie, but all this rain and cloudy conditions are giving me the blues.
Well, I seem to enjoy it, but here's to hoping the sun comes out a little longer next time. Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked the people, should the Education Department terminate teachers who assault students?
Teachers should behave like because they are the small children. The Ministry of Education and the minister himself should, do a little bit more.
They have to terminate the masters and the teachers who's doing the things.
Yes, because it's a responsibility to look after the students since they're in schools.
Recapping the main stories, Narere murderer jailed for life, alleged Tuareg rapist remanded in custody, and government slams misguiding politicians. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To the poll question, this week we are asking, has Gareth Baber impressed in his first two outings as Fiji Sevens coach? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, the shot of the day shows us what people get up to during sunset in our country each day. This time-lapse from Lami shows people out and about enjoying the late afternoon as the sun goes down and people make the most of the cool conditions out at sea. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time from the team and I, good night.
I'm Nico Mbalrokonroka here at Jackson, Fiji. I'm from Monedake, Fulanga in Low. Love listening to Bull FM, especially when I'm stressed and tired at the end of the day. Love Bull FM. Talk about in Bull FM. Setsan.
Nadango Leonardo Tulib, au what you go in ba, and the Talita na parong and Bull FM, but nabantu na sir.
Bull FM number 2 and seri.